And again, actually, that is true. When you say that Pep has not performed to the level that people expect in Manchester City, maybe they're looking at the kind of investment that has been pumped into Manchester City. But even if you look across the clubs that Pep has managed, is a guy who has been lucky. Like Mourinho, whenever he goes, he's given money. So for me, he has performed. And I think when you look at the Premier League, the top cream coaches actually at the Premier League right now, you don't expect Pep to move to other leagues. Look at the likes of Ancelotti, look at the Pep, look at, we have this guy actually for Everton. I've talked about Ancelotti. We have also Jurgen at Liverpool. So he wants to compete actually. So when maybe let's say, for instance, Pep has moved to France, I think he will be degrading himself. Even the coaches, they want to compete with the top cream. So when you see that they are moving the Premier League, they know they want to test among the top rivals. So for me, it never came as a shock that Pep had just signed the contract. He was to sign it, even though we have not been told, maybe it's 1 or 2 years. I think Klopp has a long contract up to 2022 and is likely to extend another one. So when you look at that level, the Premier League maybe in the next 6 years is destined to bigger things. And when you look at Champions League, my colleague said that Manchester City has not fully performed to the level. And also talking about Ederson. Ederson is a very good goalkeeper. But sometimes, even when you look back to Brazil, when you look at Ederson and Alisson, for me, these guys have got all my bets. But again, it depends on the coach of Brazil. Whom does he prefer? And ever since actually Ederson took over at Manchester City, that guy has been magnificent. Look at the clean sheets. He has won that. So it has been a competition between him and Alisson. Previously, we had one guy who was dominating. That is De Gea, but it has changed. That one tells you that he's a good goalkeeper. And I think that when we look at Champions League this time, Manchester City, they will go far. But again, Champions League comes with a certain experience and some luck.
I don't think so.
I can say this. When Liverpool, we won against Barcelona, actually the return leg, when we scored 4 goals. Actually, when we went to Barcelona, it was a dead game. But when we came, there is a way, it's about a tactic. A coach may look at it and say, like, if I play like this, I'm likely to win. And chances of winning could be 10%. Losing is 90%. So you give that margin of 10%, and then you are able to move forward. And also look at, for instance, we had Ajax, actually, a young team that had wonderful talent, but everything has been poached from them. Manchester City or Manchester United poached from them. Barcelona poached from them. Even Chelsea poached from them. So what does that tell you is that is the way you build your team, and the more players you have been dominant in Europe, they can really actually push you and give you more odds when you're playing into Europe. So for me, what I could say is that if we go back to today's game, that is Manchester City and Tottenham, on a narrow escape, I've given my bet to Tottenham.
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Yeah, Gilbert, you were saying you don't agree with something that
Champions League, yes. Champions League, Guardiola has been his own worst enemy. At the key games, he tends to overthink and change his tactics so much that he messes it up. Last season, I touted Manchester City to win the Champions League, but he messed up at the very key games. He made some changes that baffled a lot of people and backfired. So he has to reset his own factory settings in the Champions League, because I think he has so much pressure to deliver in that tournament that it makes him make some very wrong decisions. Secondly, he needs to get a good target man. His attacking options. Aguero is too old. I think age has caught up with him. He's getting injuries left, right, and center, basically due to his age. Roy Keane, Lambasted him say that he's overweight, and I think without a good target man, they'll struggle in the Champions League because now they're depending on their forward lines who are not necessarily attackers.
Just wingers.
Yeah, for then, Gabriel Jesus today is hot, the next day is cold. So the Champions League will be a tough call for him. He'll surprise me if he can go all the way. It will be a big surprise. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough, guys. Let's just go direct to the game. Of course, we are talking about Tottenham playing at home. Mancity, of course, is playing away. And I'm looking at this game. The last game these teams met, of course, Tottenham won 2-0. And looking at the way the Premier League is panning out, Manchester City haven't had the best of starts yet, and Tottenham are really showing signs under Mourinho right now. And I don't know how important is this game to the two managers. If I should start from Gilbert.
It's important to Mourinho because it will be, if he gets a win today, it will be a marker to his intentions this season. People are ish about whether he can win the league or not, but there are some matches that you can make a statement about your intentions in the title race, and this could be one of it. Mourinho normally, from experience, first games to top six sides away, he normally goes for a draw, and when he gets home on the second leg, he goes for the win. Right now, he's starting from home. He'll go out all guns blazing. I'd make a very comprehensive comment when I see the starting lineup because I'd expect him to start Son, Kane, and Bale. Bale is still yet to hit form. He's still yet to hit form. Tottenham's defense has not been so good. Otherwise, he's an old guy. Sanchez, Aurier. Their defense is not that good, but their attacking is one of the best. I think this is one of the conundrums that Liverpool had some time back before Van Dijk came in. Liverpool could score like 4, 5, 3 goals, but the defense normally came to their disadvantage. But knowing Mourinho who he is, even if he has an average defender, he knows how to position I think his defense is his strongest point as a coach. He knows how to arrange his defense very well. So today could be a surprise. Tottenham could get a win today. Could get a win, but it will depend on how Manchester City players are. Did any of their players get COVID during the international break? Or do they have any major injuries? Sterling didn't play for England during this friendlies and Nations League games.
Of course, Harry Kane played, but I think he's okay.
What about Sterling?
Sterling did not. He was on international duty, but did not play any game. So he's supposed to be fit because they said that he was 50-50, so he was not involved actually. So he's back. Yeah. Yeah. So
it will be a very tough game. But I expect Mourinho to go all out for the win. Because it's such games that maybe can either tilt your season to a title run or tilt your season to the other side. So it will be a very exciting game.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Innocent. How important is this match to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola?
The game is very important to both coaches. If I start from Jose Mourinho, is challenging the top 4, and he wants to prove a point that what he's assembling and the confidence he has given the Tottenham players, they can likely leverage to win bigger things in the near future. And when you look at Pep Guardiola, it has been a shaky at Etihad. But again, for them, they also need to win to get points and also to gain more confidence. You realize that even though Man City has been winning, it has not been that smooth ride. Unlike when you look at Tottenham, actually Tottenham have been tormenting teams. Son is in the form of his life. And, you know, when that guy, and if you look at the way Son plays, for me, he plays like the former Blues guy, that's Hazard. He's a guy who can create chance. He's a guy who can harass defenders. He's a guy who has space. And also, tentatively, I guess, or I think at some point, Bell could play. He's a legend in that club, and he's one guy who can surprise you, even though he has not hit well, unlike previously when he was in Madrid. But I think maybe it is in the mind, you know, when you leave a club that you wanted to play for, and the coach doesn't really give you time to play. I think he's recovering from that. And again, what I could say is that when you look at Jose Mourinho, top 4 is a priority for them. And actually nowadays, the Premier League, even top 6 is tough. So for me, what I could say, the game is very important to both coaches, because Pep has to prove that he's going to challenge for the top thing or the top trophy. Mourinho also, there has been speculation that Spurs will challenge for it, but for me, I don't see it. But what I'm sure of is that there are top 4 material for me. And then I think that is what I could say for now for the 2 coaches.
Okay, fair enough. Let me run through the statistics. Of course, previous statistics involving these 2 teams. Of course, they have met 160 times in the past. Tottenham have won 62 times, Manchester City 63 times, and they have drawn 35. And going into this match, a win for Tottenham, of course, they will ensure that they make a statement on the top 4. They might go to the top of the league. And of course, there's no Doherty, you know, the defender is a right back. He has contacted COVID. Of course, we have talked about that. Eli Kramera is not available, so we're expecting Serge Aurier to start, and Ndombele and Stephen Bowen, of course, they are expected back. So it gives Tottenham more options in terms of the manpower there. And about Man City, of course, a loss will leave them 8 points adrift of the leaders of the league. Sergio Aguero is, of course, is 50-50 in this game. Raheem Sterling should be able to start after him not being involved with England. And so is Pep under pressure to win this match?
I don't think Pep.
I don't know. I wanted to give it to Justin, but you can go first.
Okay. I mean, sorry guys, I was late. I went out a bit for something, and I'm seeing quite throwing some statistics for this game. But quite fair, yes, you said about the statistics. But you see, Man City in the recent past are an improved team than Tottenham. But to say also, yes, Tottenham are a good team at the moment. With Hobart in the midfield, they have quite a good team. But I'm seeing Man City going to win this game. I don't see Mourinho going to be in it.
Okay.
That is my take.
Fair enough. Gilbert.
Yes.
what are the where will this game be won, or where will it be lost?
For Tottenham, it will be lost in the defense. If they don't organize their defense well, they might lose this game. Because on analysis of their teams, if you analyze both teams, Tottenham have a better attack, but weaker defense. Manchester City, their defense is weak on the flanks because Diaz and Laporte have struck quite a good partnership. If you watched from the Liverpool game, they have kicked on so well. Their flanks, the ones that are having some issues here and there. And Tottenham are good on the flanks. Son plays on the flanks. Bale plays on the flanks. So if Bale and Son have a good game today, Man City will have a lot of problems. So it will be those two extremes. I can't say that. Okay, the midfield also. Tottenham's midfield is not that good. Mourinho has had some challenges with Ndombele about the way he plays his game, the intensity that he employs when he plays his game. Manchester City don't have such a challenge. Their midfield, apart from this Brazilian guy, I'm forgetting his name. There's a midfield enforcer that nowadays is injured most of the Fernandinho. Fernandinho has been their lynchman in the midfield, breaking up play, distributing the passes. But of late, he's been having some injury issues, and age is catching up. They've not quite gotten a good replacement or a good fit of a player who can play the way he was playing in that position. So maybe if Tottenham exploit that end of the midfield and use the flanks well, they can win this match.
They can win this match. Okay.
Yes, very, very much possible.
Okay. Innocent, what are your thoughts?
I have looked at the probable lineup, starting lineups today. For me, what I could say, where the match will be won is the fluidity at the midfield. Who is expected to play at that midfield? And when I look at it, I'm seeing that maybe Jose Mourinho today, he could be playing maybe 4-2-3-1. And Pep could go in for 4-3-3. And, that one also is a matter, and you try to see, like, for instance, if Pep is going to play like that, there's a way that it could be widening up front, and then defending is trying to narrow it. And this could be a bit difficult for Jose Mourinho. But again, we have seen how Mourinho plays. He may decide that to exercise long balls, and this is not the kind of game that Pep Guardiola would be looking at. And also another thing that could be an issue here is the defense. We know very well that Tottenham at the moment, their defense is not good, but they have to be very clinical. How do they clear the balls from the box? How do they? So that means that their midfielders, they have to work tirelessly to obstruct all those kind of balls that are likely to trouble their defenders. But again, when you look at Manchester City, if De Bruyne plays today, that's a problem to Tottenham already, because that guy is a genius the way he moves. I've tried to look at his clips whenever he plays. You may think that he's quiet, he's not even running at the midfield. He gets the ball and he looks at where Sterling is. He gives him to score. So the midfield and the defense.
Yeah, we are talking about, of course, Tottenham have not been looking pretty good defensively, but Manchester City are good right now as we are going by the
at the midfield, defense, and finally the kind of formation we expect the two coaches to exercise today. Yeah.
Right, fair enough. So, like I was saying, these two teams are kind of they have problems. Of course, they are not they're not complete the way they are playing because defensively, I know Tottenham are struggling. An area where Manchester City is doing pretty well right now, just like Gilbert have mentioned. Offensively, Tottenham are doing better because goals are coming. Looking at Manchester City, so far they have only scored 10 goals this season. This time last season, they had scored 27 goals. This time last season. How will that impact today's game? I'll give this to Justin. The
Yes,
lack
yes,
of
yes, yes.
goals. The
I've
lack
got
of
quite
goals of
some
Manchester
company
City.
here.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
I've
okay.
got quite some company here. But
It's okay.
anyway, as mentioned, I am seeing. I'm not seeing Tottenham going to cope with the Man City attack. I am not seeing them going to cope with it. Quite frankly, yes, with Doherty out and then going to play Sergio Aurier, I am not seeing them going to catch up. That is the biggest challenge for Mourinho now. The only challenge I have with Man City is them not lacking Fernandinho. But if Fernandinho plays and Rodri, then I am not seeing Man City, Tottenham going to be in this game. And even if Kun is not there, Jesus is improving, and then they have Foden, they have Mahrez. You see, they have quite a number of options. So I'm not seeing and then with their defensive side improving, that I'm not seeing Man City Tottenham going to be in this game at all. Because you can remember, like the West Ham game, the way Tottenham played very well, but in the final end, their defense, they just switched off in a second. They were quite heavily punished. Yes. So anyway, it is a 50-50 call we see with international, and then the fixture pile up. Most teams are struggling at the moment with their squads, with now COVID also in. That is also another quite bigger challenge. So, but anyway, Man City have got a good depth at the moment that we have to appreciate. So I'm not seeing Tottenham going to be in it. Quite fair.
Fair enough. I'm back to you, Innocent. These two managers who are meeting today, I'm talking about Pep and Mourinho. You know, they have been very fierce rivals from history when the managers were managing. Pep was at Barcelona. Mourinho was at Real Madrid. They were very fierce rivals. Do you think the rivalry is going to be reignited in this match? Hello.
The level at which Manchester City is at the moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, getting.
Yeah, so I think the coaches are going to enjoy themselves. And when you try to look at when Mourinho was in Manchester United, it could be a very fierce rival for Pep Guardiola. But at the moment, I don't see it as a really rivalry. But what Mourinho is going to try is to prove a point that even with Tottenham, Pep, I can beat you. I've done it previously, and I can do it. But I don't see that rivalry that is so big as such, because even where we are at the season, the kind of number of matches that have been played, it can't really bring a lot of heated game at this first phase of the season. So for me, the coaches are going to enjoy themselves, and each one of them is trying to win a game and to bid more for what he targets to win for the club this season. So for me, it is not a rivalry game, but a game that is trying to challenge for maybe a trophy or maybe top 4. Yeah.
Okay, so I was let me come back. Let me see where I am. Okay, I have another question for, maybe I would like Gilbert to react to it. There is one player we're forgetting. There's this new recruit at Manchester City. His name is Ferran Torres. This kid is doing a really good job. Why are we not mentioning him? Because all the attention is going to the lack of Aguero. Yeah.
I think Ferran Torres has come to your mind because of his exploits against Germany. That's why his name is sticking up in your mind. But his performances for Man City since he was signed have been nothing short of inspiring. So it's up to him to transfer his country form to the club. That's when we can start talking about him as a force to reckon with in that Manchester City setup. Elneny performed so well in the Egyptian side, but when he comes to Arsenal, he's a bench warmer. So you have to deliver the goods at the club level. There are players who perform well. I can point to this guy who plays for France, Giroud. Giroud is so trusted as a France setup, even if he's warming his bench, the bench at the club setup, because the coach knows when he's up there, he'll deliver. His hold-up play is so good. He knows how to bring other players into the team. So Ferran Torres had a very good game against Germany in the Spanish setup. I know Guardiola, he'd want to feed off that. I would be surprised if he would be starting, maybe because of fatigue and international break engagements. But he's shown signs of performing. That's why they signed him. So it's up to him to hit the ground running at the club level, because he's a new signing. He's trying to acclimatize to the Premier League, how Manchester City play. So he'll kick on with time. Yeah.
Okay, Justin.
But then again, Manchester City has a lot of competition for places. Phil Foden also had a very good game for England. He's performed on a consistent level for Manchester City when given the opportunity. There's this other guy for Portugal. So the competition for places, particularly on the forward line, on the flanks, on the left side and on the right side, is so high. There are players who thrive on competition and there are players who don't thrive on the competition. There are players who want to be given a long run in the team for their form to kick in. I can give an example of Fred in Manchester United. Fred is a player, if you give him more time on the pitch and give him confidence, he'll perform. But he's not that kind of a player who you want to give him a few minutes to show that he can deliver and expect him to dislodge the occupant of that position. So it's up to the players' mentality, how they train and their output on the pitch. So Ferran Torres, he'll have to adapt to the situation he's in at the club at the moment and fight for his place. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Justin.
Seems quite like Gilbert has not been watching Arsenal's games of late. Are you getting me, guys?
He just played the last 2 games. The one that you played against us. How many matches has Elneny started this? I know you want to talk about Elneny. How many matches has Elneny started?
How long has he been in Arsenal? How long has he been at Arsenal? How many games have we had this season anyway? To be quite fair, how many games have we had?
I think 8.
Yes.
But okay, my point is this: Elneny is not a starter. in that team, obvious Shaka and party after party will start ahead of Elneny. Elneny will just play in. Maybe he'll just come into play when the coach wants to put a very unique tactic against a strong opposition.
I wish you had drawn your comparison. Your comparison of international. I wish you had said it about Xhaka, because Xhaka, when he's playing for the national team, he's quite a good player. But when it comes to Arsenal, I don't see. Anyway,
Xhaka's been a good performer. Xhaka's been a good performer for the last 10 or so games for Arsenal.
I think the question we should ask ourselves is this one. The kind of formation Arsenal is playing currently, does it blend in with the...
With? Hello? Hello? We lost you.
Gary is frozen.
It could be an issue with that.
Yeah.
So, and I can give you an example. Look at Liverpool. Shaqiri is so good, but he doesn't play. And whenever he plays, John has to score. So, for me, Elneny, well, he could be performing well at international duty because of the coach who is giving him a good role and the trust. But maybe Arteta is not convinced yet. Or maybe someone is going to, of which we don't want it to happen, maybe could go out for an injury. And the only guy who can fit that shoe is Elneny. And Elneny from there can pick it up. So opportunities just overrush or come along the way when you take up a task or what you're trying to do.
Anyway, it's a conversation that we cannot finish at the moment because we have quite different opinions for all of us.
So
let's get back to the main topic.
We were talking about Torres.
Let's get to the back. Yeah, Ferran Torres now.
Ferran Torres, for me, I'm not convinced yet. Yes, he had that wonders. Was it a hat-trick against Germany? I think it was a good day in office. Germany. The Bavarians.
The mighty Germany.
When you look at the league, and this guy has been a starter, and what has been his contribution? How many goals does he have? I think he's among the top scorers with 2 goals at Manchester City. So for him to prove us is that maybe we could not rate him within the 8 games that this guy is new has played. If we give him maybe 15 games, we could be certain that is he a good player? Is he someone who can change the game? Or is one guy who scores, who was that one day in office or that one day at the pitch, scores goals, or he gives wonderful assists and then he goes down. So what we're trying to assess is that is a
I think this guy has internet issues.
Yeah, he's quite getting lost.
But again, today, when I was looking the kind of goals he was scoring against the Bavarians, if that kid is given a chance, yes, he can score.
Yes, he can score. Okay, let's go to the. Okay.
Yeah, quite. You trust me. Ferran Torres is a good player. He's quite had a few chances, not as much as you were pointing it out. If you look at his stats, his runs and his movements, he's good. And I know, given time, he will prove to be a very good addition for Man City. Yes. And I am not seeing him not starting today. He's going to be a starter for this game today.
Will he start ahead of Jesus Navas? Jesus, how we call it? Jesus, I don't know.
I'm not saying because actually,
if Aguero is fit, and then he starts ahead of Jesus Navas. Yes.
And if he is not,
if Aguero is not fit, and then Jesus starts ahead of him.
Ahead of Torres?
Yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Just
I am not sure. Anyway, Pep kind of trusts Jesus, but he's quite been misfiring. He's not a consistent player, and with his size and stature, I am not seeing him fit for the Premier League. He's a good player. He's quite talented, but I am not seeing him fit for the Premier League. The strikers who are good and yes, very talented and can perform quite well at this high level. But for Jesus, I'm not seeing him fit for the league. Yeah. So my take will be, if Aguero, yes, is sweet. Aguero brings something, yes. Pep has tried to sideline Aguero, but he's a player you cannot take away from a team. Trust me, no team that Aguero goes in and you will not start him. I don't see any striker at the moment in this era that is quite as prolific as Kun Aguero. It's only that age is catching up with him. Yes, that we have to understand also. And then the physicality of the Premier League is also bringing him a lot of the knocks and everything else. That is why he's quite sustaining a lot of injuries of late. But fit Aguero will always start for any team.
All right.
Yes.
Now, apart from the team, the two teams playing well, what are the players that are likely to win the game for the two teams? I mean, the key players that are likely to influence how the game will go. I start with the innocent.
Okay.
I know this one is weird, but goalkeeping, I think that is an area that is going to be very critical. I'm trying to see how Ederson and Loris, they are going to perform today. Because we know very well that it is going to be attack. And also, I'm looking at what Son is going to bring on board, and also what Torres can bring. If these two players, they're going to stand for the game today, these are the kind of players that can win a match. So for me, it is defense and how Son is going to play and Torres is going to play. If we look at those, if Son has that form today, it's going to really trouble the defense for Manchester City. And if Ederson is willing to cool that tempo, still it is a 50-50 match. So I think for me, I'll go for the two goalkeepers and the two players, that is Torres and Son. If at all, Torres starts.
Okay.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Quite good. My thoughts are, you see, Sterling has been flattering and he's out of form of late, but his withdrawal from the international duty means something. He's going to be into this game very fresh. And looking at Tottenham's defense, I am not seeing. I'm going to see him quite influential, and I'm seeing Mahrez starting this game also, because what I know Pep is going to get into those flanks where Tottenham are not quite good, and then the fact that Doherty is also not there, so this game is going to be one on the flanks. On the flank. So the midfielder for me, from the attack side, for Man City will be quite the differential for this game. There's nothing else, because I don't see. Yes, the goalkeeping aspect, Loris and Ederson are top goalkeepers, but Loris he's almost going to his last years, so I'm not going to see him. He makes quite a lot of blunders of late. If you've seen, he quite concedes some funny goals. Might be not him to blame, but other than that, I'm seeing Harry Kane also going to be a very, 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 very big shot in this game. It's going to be, if you ask me, I'm seeing it as a high score, the game will have so many goals. Yes, but the differential will be the Sterling and whoever starts on the other wing for Man City, that will be either Mahrez. That could be the differential for this game.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Let me just get in the last question before we go to the predictions. The style of play the two managers are likely to go with. Starting with Gilbert. We lost you. I think we thanks because you're back. So what do you think? The style of play the two managers are likely to go with, because from experience, or from the past, I should say, Pep Guardiola, you can go to any game expecting the same style of play, because what we are seeing is a situation where they are playing from the back. Of course, he's trying to play with some kind of cohesiveness, fluidity. Getting the last pass, kill the game, pass, and I cannot describe his game, and that is the same kind of play Chata is trying to impose on Arsenal players. Arsenal players are not really ready for that because they haven't really clicked. But talking about this game, what kind of style of play are we expecting from the two managers?
I think it's about the philosophy. Mourinho is a pragmatic guy. He changes his formation and the style of play. He commits on the pitch based on the position. Guardiola is like Arsene Wenger. Get what I mean? Arsene Wenger, regardless of how many times, sorry to go back to history, regardless of how many times Manchester United deployed a specific tactic to beat Arsenal, each and every time Wenger came, he came with that same philosophy, that he stuck to his philosophy, regardless. If you watched Guardiola since the time he was at Barcelona, all he tight passing, he presses so high. When he loses the ball, there's a tactic they use, they foul the players. I don't see any change in Guardiola's style of play. Just he normally tweaks. Of late, I've seen he can tweak the style of play or the game depending on what stage the game is. By the second half, in the 70th minute, they are cruising to a 3-0 win. Nowadays, you can see Guardiola bringing in a defender, which was so rare of him. Mourinho, same old. He'll defend tight and attack on the break. He has two very good forwards that can hit on the break. Son and Gareth Bale, so good on the break. To give them space, they hit the ball in front of you. You can't get them. Basically, I expect to see him playing so tight defensively. He'll have a good defense tight. I see them playing long balls, Tottenham.
Long balls, okay.
Yes. I see the defender playing long balls, because the midfield battle, they don't have any personnel to outplay Man City in the midfield department, because Man City's midfield is so good. The personnel in Tottenham's midfield, Holberg, Ndombele, they are guys just trying to find their footing in the Premier League. Mourinho has been calling out Ndombele so many times about his lack of intensity, lack of style of play that he demands of his players. So basically, he'll try to exploit his greatest advantage, and which is his attack. So defend tightly, get the ball out of defense, identify a player running on the break, give him the ball, run at the Man City defense. The only mistake Guardiola could do is play a high defensive line today, because if he does that, he'll get punished. And Guardiola never plays deep defense. When he gets your team on the break or your team is on the attacking end, their defenders normally push up. So you have to be very careful. His defense has to be so disciplined today, because with Son and Bale and Harry Kane, they'll have to be on their toes today, because any slight lack in concentration in that defensive lineup, and they'll be punished for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will be a tight game. I'll have to disagree with Justin. I don't think it will be high scoring. With Mourinho, you rarely expect to score so many goals against him. So it will be a very cagey match, like the one for Liverpool. It'll be very cagey. Yeah, with very few opportunities, and those with able to finish those opportunities will take the game. So
Okay.
those are the kind of tactics I'll expect to be employed today.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I do agree with you. Yes, you're trying to say like Mourinho is same old Mourinho, but Mourinho currently doesn't have the players he's had with his previous teams. Actually, I think for Mourinho, he has a very good attack player currently at Tottenham, and then the only good midfield is criticized Ndombele but anyway, Ndombele for me and Hobag are very good midfielders. And don't forget, Hobag has played for Pep at Bayern before he moved to the Premier League, to Southampton, then now to Tottenham. Hobag is also a good midfielder. But now, defensively, they are not in it. That we have to agree. And then now, you see one factor that we are forgetting. We have a very fit Kevin De Bruyne. The attack master. And I am not going to see Mourinho defend, because he has players who attack a lot. So I'll quite disagree with Gilbert on that. Mourinho will attack, and Pep will too attack.
On the break.
Both are not very good defensively. Yes, Mancity are improving defensively, but they are not yet there. So I'm going to see a very me personally, I'm seeing a very high scoring game with the attack that Man City has and the attack that Tottenham has. That is where the game is. Actually, the game is not even in from midfield up front. That is where the game is. That is KDB moving the ball and if that is, Pep does not deploy the game plan he deployed against Liverpool. That was quite not a Pep Guardiola that I've known for years, because even you could see him adding defenders into the game, trying to play onto the corner, trying to waste time. That is a first time for me that I've seen Guardiola. So anyway, we do not know. Well, let's wait and see how he comes into this game. If he comes the same Pep that we know, I'm not seeing Tottenham going to stop him.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Can I come in?
Yes,
Yeah,
come in. You had muted your mic.
I like how Gilbert and Justin are trying to avoid that. A coach is going to play Highline Defense. End of the game. I'm expecting who is going to make a blunder. Is it Mourinho or Pep to play that kind of? But I'm looking at a situation where, when I look at Tottenham, definitely they know their midfield, they can't win it. What they will do is let them attack, pass the long ball. And that is the critical area that Pep Guardiola has to be very careful about it. As much as you're trying to play from the back up front, of which Mourinho is not going to play today, because he knows he can't win that engine master, you call him, De Bruyne. So today, I'm looking at a formation, for instance, maybe Mourinho may decide to go with 4 defenders, then 2 midfielders, 3 and then 1. Also, Pep may decide that let me go for 4-3-3. But at the end of the day, even though Pep has that formation, tentatively it changes what he plays on the field, because tentatively you may realize that the wings are switching or the fullbacks are switching. But at the end of the day, today, let us look at this. Pep wants to win this game and may try to defend. But Mourinho has been defending. But today is not going to defend, because he knows that I have this informed striker inform winger. Why can't they score? But we try to reduce the best we can the kind of attacks. And some of the things that are also Pep should avoid is these dead balls. For instance, corners. You know Ken what he does. Ken is one guy who can score from anywhere. So for me, the problem is whoever is going to play highline defense, it is the end of the game today.
At the end of the game. Before you go, I had a question for you, Innocent.
Yes.
In a scale of 1 to 10, of course, 1
Yes.
being the least and 10 being the highest, how do you rate
Yes.
the resigning of Bale? Of course, he's a loan signing for Tottenham Hotspur. Is he a player that can have the same impact that he had before he left for Real Madrid?
It is a mistake. Resigning was a mistake, honestly. When I look at Tottenham today, the kind of level it is, Bale doesn't fit in. He could be a good player, but I give it a scale of 4 to 10.
4 to 10. Justin, your thoughts?
I will absolutely disagree with Innocent. Bale, yes, he had lack of match fitness. I do not know in what mind, but Zinedine didn't see in Bale. I do not know what kind of players maybe he desires. Because you look at also this other guy in Everton, the Colombian. He's quite performing. Yes, he's in his older years and he's a bit injury prone. But you see how Ancelotti is managing him. I'm going to say that Bale being managed by Mourinho. Bale is quite a good player. Yes, the first game he had a lackluster. The few minutes he played, he missed a sitter. For a player who hasn't played for almost a year, that is understandable. But you could see the last game that he played, the way he was fit, he was making the runs. And then, don't forget, Bale adds defensive agility to that Tottenham. That is quite a good player for me for Tottenham, and I'll give it an 8 to 10. An 8 because of age. But otherwise, Bale is a very good signing for Tottenham. And he's going to be the differential also for this team going forward. Them having Bewin and this other guy, the Son. And then there's this guy, Lucas Moura. So those are players with the fixture pile-up that we are having ahead. That was a good signing. Okay, and it will help him for the bigger games, yes, will be tight for him. But Bale is a player who performs quite on the high stage. Don't forget that. He has a winning mentality.
Let me support my case, Justin.
Yes.
We know Mourinho very well. Mourinho is not a coach who can manage you. Ancelotti can. The same thing to Zidane. I cannot manage you. You have to play, right? And you have to perform at the midfield. If you are out of form, you are suppressed down. So I don't know if Bale is on the form of his life when he was like in Spurs and the first 2 years when he was in Madrid, or maybe when he came from the bench only to torment Liverpool when they were playing the final of Champions League. So I don't know.
Gilbert, what are your thoughts?
Based on experience, players returning back to their old stomping grounds, basically sentimental purposes, but performance-wise, they never quite reached the heights they reached before. You can go through the history. When Henry came back to Arsenal, I just remember there's just this one goal he scored and was pumping his chest. I think it was a League Cup match. Apart from that, I remember that game we were in Ruir we were still in campus. Who else? Fabregas, when you went back to Barcelona, nothing much. Torres, when you went back to Atletico Madrid. My point is mentality. it's about the mentality. If you're able to get over that mental block, that you've come back to where you came from, and maybe where you are going to, it might have worked out well, but it didn't end well. The mentality of the player is normally not the same as it was previously. So the coach has a lot of work to do. Mourinho has a lot of work to do to get Bale to the level that he was playing at when he was playing at Madrid. This is a player who was destined, or he wanted to go to China. You see, you have a player who wants to go to China from Real Madrid. This is a player who has achieved everything he could ever dream of achieving as a player. He's won, I think, 3 Champions Leagues. La Liga, I don't know how many times he's won. So the motivation, I don't think there's so much motivation in him to perform at the peak level. So it will be up to Mourinho to try and work on his mentality and basically bring him back to the level that he was. And the acrimonious exit of Bale from Real Madrid, I was very much worried about his mentality and his discipline, because there were pictures of him being on the bench and he's put the mask on his eyes. The banner that he displayed that when he was playing for Wales, saying that golf comes first, then Wales, then Madrid. You know, managing such a player has achieved a lot, scored at the highest stage of it all, the Champions League final against Liverpool, and coming back to Tottenham, and then getting into a dogfight for top 4. For a player of such stature, it's a big challenge. So it will be a miracle and quite a big achievement if Mourinho can be able to get the best out of Bale, or bringing up to the level that he was at Madrid. So for that signing, I think I'd give it a 5 over 10, because it's 50-50. It's not guaranteed for it to be a success. It's
all right.
50-50. Because
So,
even if you watch his games that he's had, he's really not performing. He's not the Bale that we used to see. I think in the game for West Ham, Bale came on and West Ham equalized. They went out 3-3. So this is a player who's not quite at his best. So for me, it wasn't a very good signing. It's not a good signing.
It wasn't a very good signing. All right.
Yeah.
I think we have had our time. So let's go straight to the prediction. And prediction, who is going to win, and the goals. If you get this right, there's a guy who is selling jerseys, original jerseys in Nairobi, a friend of mine. You'll get one from him this weekend, either tomorrow or any day you want. So let's start from Innocent.
Who scores and who wins the game?
No. Who wins and what margin? Maybe the number of goals, either 1-1, 2-2, 3-4, something like that.
I'll go for 3-2.
3-2 in favor of what?
Tottenham 3.
Tottenham 3, Manchester City 2.
2.
Okay. Justin?
I'm not seeing Tottenham winning anyway. This will be a 4-2 win for Man City. It will be won by over 2 goals. So Man City are winning this.
Man City are winning this.
And I'm seeing Kevin De Bruyne being on the score sheet.
Wow, fair enough. Gilbert?
You know me, I never like doing predictions. So as a pundit, if you get the predictions wrong and your fans, your stock on your fans goes down.
Not really as such. We're not playing. We're just giving our statistics and
yes,
predictions.
I don't see it being a pretty much high scoring game. It will be a cagey match. 2-2.
2-2.
Yes, I see it being a draw, because the stakes are not high in this match. It's not a do or die match in terms of the title race and in terms of maybe a top 4, a top four race. Both teams are high up on the table fairly in terms of points. I think it will be a cagey match like the one for Manchester City and Liverpool. No team will want to commit itself so much for the win. So I think it will be a draw, a 2-2 draw. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for your time. I think it's about time we went to see what is happening in this game, and so thank you for making time for this show.
I think next time we should allocate a few minutes for the other teams.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, a few minutes for the other teams and talk about the Pogba situation has been on the media for so long. I think that would have
of course, maybe I will reach out on I know Liverpool.
Gilbert.
We have issues.
Liverpool have a lot of injuries. Their whole defense is.
We want to talk about that today.
Yes.
And Arsenal, we have some. Arsenal have some discipline issues. I wanted to discuss with Justin. If you could allow me, maybe after the game or tomorrow, we can schedule something. We talk about all these issues and how they are affecting the game.
Yeah, there are a lot of topics for discussion today. I don't think we should have taken all this time on the Manchester City Tottenham match, but maybe food for thought for the next discussion.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. See you after the game. We'll be able to talk offline, and if there's need, there will be need. We'll be able to link up again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.